The voice of the I Am is the mouthpiece through which the ascended master's instruction can reach the students quickly. That the most powerful work possible for America and the world may be done by the students to release the greatest light in the shortest time. It will also contain information as to where the accredited messengers, Mr. and Mrs. G.W. BALLRD, and son, Donald, are teaching the Ascended Master's instruction on the I Am. Information. The information given under the heading of Young America will be the Ascended Master's help to the young people for their protection and illumination, as they are the builders of the new civilization, and are the channels through which the Ascended Masters will give their light for the use of the outer world in the golden I Am age. This magazine is not an outlet for articles from the students, but is the outpouring of the help from the Ascended Masters, and has no human concepts in it.
Jesus Discourse, Easter Sunrise Service, Oakmont Country Club, April 12, 1936, Glendale, California. Precious children of the light.
The Cinderella. Your hearts are reaching so earnestly to the perfection of the Ascended Master Consciousness, of which you have come to. As in the long ago, when we met to leave for humanity the example which all might follow, so today has there come again the fulfillment of that example which I left for mankind. My heart rejoices that in the great adoration which has been poured out to me, so has there entered in my heart, as in the your hearts are reaching so earnestly to the perfection of the Ascended Master Consciousness, of which you have come to. As in the long ago, when we met to leave for humanity the example which all might follow, so today has there come again the fulfillment of that example which I left for mankind. My heart rejoices that in the great adoration which has been poured out to me, so has there entered into you that consciousness of the Ascended Master activity which it was my great privilege to use in bringing my victory and example to you and the world. Today, you have a transcendent privilege in the broadcasting, as it were, of that secret knowledge which was given to me, the knowledge of the mighty I Am presence and its invincible power to act in you, through you, and for you, to manifest your full perfection and ascension, as was my great joy. Not since my experience in leaving that example has there been such joy filling the hearts of those great ascended ones, as is expressed today in bringing forth to the great mass of humanity the glory and the means by which their freedom and ascension comes about. The great wisdom is brought forth in the chart, which holds definitely before you the eye picture of the presence. 1. That mighty wisdom and mighty energy, which enables you to do all things perfectly under its mighty direction. So let me add my joy to yours today for the great light which has been brought to you in the conscious acknowledgement of the light of God that lighteth every man that cometh into the world. In your acceptance that I am the resurrection and the life now is the fullness of the eternal active truth that I am the open door which no man can shut. So today, let this TRI of activity become expressed in your life to produce its everlasting perfection for you. Even as I have joined our beloved Saint Germain in the endeavor to bring this freedom to America and the world, so is it fitting on this day to add my view of that great reality. Oh, my beloved ones! Stand firm in that which you have come to know as the great majestic presence which beats your hearts. It can perform all action, all service, all perfection for you, requiring only your attention to enable it to release the same power, the same great love and light, which it was my privilege to release from that great presence, the mighty I Am. Can you imagine, O beloved children of the light, the rejoicing of those great ascended ones who have endeavored to minister to mankind through these many centuries? Yet only today, when the great cosmic light has given its assistance to mankind and the earth, is it possible to see those experiences brought into perfect manifestation, which were the glory and light that came to the attention of mankind in that long ago? Experiences transcendent will come into fruition today for the great mass of mankind. I plead with you, let not the appearance of the limitation of mankind longer hold you in bondage. In the acknowledgement of the presence, the power and the glory of that consciousness which was and is mine, I give to you today the power to anchor within your hearts the active presence of that ascended master consciousness, to lift you into the fullness of your ascension and enable you to consciously grasp the reins of your dominion. The acknowledgement of your presence forever makes you free and gives you the power, the energy, and the strength to lift you into full freedom, into your ascension, where once again we will meet, clasp hands, and rejoice in the service which we may again turn and render to those not yet having finished the great pilgrimage. I extend to you my eternal blessing, my C, R age, and S strength, my enfolding presence in the ascended master consciousness which is mine, to enfold you like a mantle of light, filled with all that you require for your freedom and attainment, to become ever active in your life in the fullness of its achievement and your ascension. My love abides with you, in you, active through you forever. Remember that we are never apart. As your love comes to me, so does it make it possible for me to return upon that ray of light and to bless you as the requirement may be. All the ascended masters and my beloved brother, Saint Germain, have made this possible. Unto him we give all credit for having had the courage, the conviction, and strength to bring this forth to America and the world. We have all joined in that earnest service to enable the glory and light to fill the hearts of mankind more quickly and sustain its eternal victory. In the infinite light of the great eternal central sun, we call the full currents of energy from the universe everywhere to focus into America the sea-cup of light of the coming perfection, that you may all feel the fullness of its radiance, quickening and expanding the light within your hearts unto the fullness of that freedom and blessing which every heart knows is its purity and its perfection. Again, my love enfolds you forever, as does the love of all the ascended masters, and all wish me to express their great love and enfolding presence to you, that you may consciously understand its omnipresent activity, to glorify you and lift you into your ascension. Mighty I Am Presence, perform through me every second this day gigantic ascended master miracles of love, obedience, healing, illumination, and supply of every good thing forever self-sustained. To know the divine plan and perfect way to fulfill an idea or inspiration of some kind that comes to your mind, say, Mighty I Am Presence. What is your divine use and purpose for this idea and inspiration? Show me what you desire me to do with it and all the other ideas that are required to produce perfection in its use. Show me every perfect thing to do concerning it, and make me do all perfectly through your divine love. Saint Germain's For Benediction. EAST GLE 12:19. Beloved children of the light, On this day is there great, great rejoicing. I thank every one of you and every I am student throughout the earth for your great loyalty and love, for that great earnestness which enables you to hold fast to the light of your presence and go forward victorious in the fulfillment of your freedom. 5. No, chat in your attention to your presence, not can stay the forward progress of your eternal joy and freedom. Naught can interfere with its mighty forward movement, lifting you steadily and surely into the fullness, the happiness which your heart craves. And know that in your presence is the only place where happiness rests, in its fullness, in its completeness. In all your earnest application, know that your presence is invincible, and when you call it into action, the results that you require are certain to follow. Be at peace, O my beloved ones. Stand, G-U-R-D, at the door of your world, and call your presence into action, that naught enter there but its eternal perfection. Remember that you are privileged to turn and face the human creation, saying to it with the full power, courage, and strength of your I am presence. You have no power. You no longer may affect or enter my world. Stand aside while I pass into the glory of my presence, untouched any longer by your limitations, which I unfortunately created. In the acknowledgement of the power and use of your mighty consuming flame, say, I cut myself free, consuming all that has been drawn about me through the ages. I return it to its nothingness, rendering it dissipated from the earth, for the great light has taken its place and holds its victorious activity and perfection forever. My love enfolds you in the fullness of its courage and strength to take you forward into your eternal victory. ONG, O beloved students, have we waited for this day to give the assistance of the great cosmic law? In the assistance of the great assembly of ascended masters, we have been able to render a service heretofore not experienced among mankind, and its far-reaching activity will bring to many the realization of what I say to you. The glory of that light once released within your hearts is dauntless. It continues to expand with the fullness of the perfection of the presence, which knows no resistance or interference. This has been established within you today. Accept the fullness of it, and henceforth say to hum and appearances, you are powerless, no longer can you affect my world, and mean it. Then you will find that appearances will no longer disturb you. Always speak with loving kindness to each other, and, if necessary, still the outer until all human sense of irritation ceases. For in the future, with this greater, released energy for your blessing and assistance, I plead with you to govern your feelings. If you will do this, you will find that perfection entering into action in your world which you have craved throughout the centuries. Instead of seeing limitations or shortcomings in others, if there seems to be an appearance, say to that also, you have no power, my mighty I am presence. Take command of that blessed one and express your perfection. Then refuse to allow the mind to pass opinion about it. Oh, the love, the joy, the majesty that will enter your life if you will do this. You, who are heads of business activities of any kind, go into your place of business and pour forth such love that none can resist its perfection. If someone has made a mistake, say, oh, never mind, that has been the habit of mankind, but we call on the law of forgiveness, and we ask the mighty I Am presence to see that it does not affect you again. Then go forth and pour out your blessing to all and see what transcendent activity and success will come into your world. I am speaking to you today with a power and radiation, endeavoring to convey to you the understanding of these simple things. Yet they mean so much in your world. After we become master of the smaller things, then the presence says, we will give you mastery over greater things, and that is really true. If you cannot govern a few atoms of your body, how can you expect to govern another? After all, there is only one intelligence to govern others, and that is their mighty I Am presence. So, with this great love, I say to you, stand guard over your world, over your feelings, and allow it to manifest only harmony and goodwill to all. Then you have nailed back the doors of doubt and fear and entered into the glory of the transcendent golden light which is through that doorway. Pour forth to each other constantly great blessings, for if one has made a mistake, that one needs the blessing to strengthen him, and if he has not, then your blessing will add to the glory which he already has. Remember, O my beloved ones, there is no excuse ever for irritation or anger. And as you find it easy to govern these qualities that have acted in your lives, you will find it so easy for blessings to become active in your lives. Then you too will smile the smile of eternal joy and happiness, and you will enter into your mighty I Am presence with its mighty intelligence, its mighty enfolding love, its mighty accomplishing activity that makes all your efforts abound with every good thing. My love enfolds you always. I answer every call, and remember, the great divine director has offered you the great privilege of calling to him. For those for whom time and space can be set aside, it shall be done, that you may enter into the fuller glory of your mighty I Am presence. Today, the great assembly of ascended ones with open arms say, O beloved ones, we love you with a love that dissolves all else. When you can but harmonize your feelings, we can release a greater power and love to strengthen and bless you until the whole world seems ablaze with that light which beats your hearts. So, if you can accept that and stand glorified in it, we can give you assistance not otherwise possible. For our great desire is to see you free in your ascended, mighty I Am presence, walking beside us again, offering that same assistance to those not yet having reached perfection, a joy, a service that no other activity in the universe can bring. So, in behalf of the great assembly, the great divine director, beloved Nada, the Master Jesus, and myself, we offer you our love for your freedom, and with your permission, stand guard to assist you to guard your worlds, that naught can enter but the perfection, the love, the full activity of your mighty I Am presence. Affirmations. Mighty Divine Director, we call unto thee in the name of the mighty I Am presence to release whatever light and power is required throughout America and the world to awaken the consciousness of every human being to the mighty reality of his own mighty I Am presence, and to make him feel and accept the fullness of its light and perfection even this hour, claiming all into the service of the light forever. Mighty I Am presence. QUALIFY every detail of this activity with the Ascended Master's amazing perfection, management, and control forever. I refuse acceptance to everything but limitless light and love. Mighty I Am presence. Make your divine love alive and dynamically active within me. Consume all unlike itself, and see that it is the only acting presence forever in me and my world. ASCENS Ascension Day is Thursday, May 21, 1936, and represents the fullest outpouring of light and love which Jesus gave to our earth. 12 o'clock midnight of May 21st to 12 o'clock midnight of May 2N. Jesus always gives an intensified outpouring of his rays of light and love to our humanity, charged with a limitless focus of his ascended master consciousness, feeling and victory of the ascension. To the students who are determined to gain their ascension at this time, this outpouring from Jesus means far more than words can convey. Those who will give an hour at 12 noon on Ascension Day to accepting this glorious gift and radiance from our mighty brother, the Master Jesus, will feel unmistakably his tremendous ray of light and love, focused and poured out to bless all. If the student cannot give time at 12 noon, he can do so for an hour some other time of the day. An individualized RA of his wonderful energy and substance will penetrate and enfold the mind and body of everyone who gives him conscious recognition in this way. On the love and light sent out to him, he will come back 1,000-fold, to bless forever with his complete freedom all who will turn their attention to him on Ascension Day. The students should, as often as possible, give conscious recognition, praise, and thanks for the attainment of their own ascension. When one awakens in the morning, he can give praise and thanks that he is one day nearer to his ascension. He can form the habit of QUALY-fying all the energy in his being and world with the victory of his ascension. For the more recognition he can give it, the quicker will he attain it. He can say often, "Mighty I Am Presence. Take complete possession of my being and world, now! Prepare me and see that I make my ascension as soon as possible." This will open the way for greater assistance to be given him. All should understand that when one has made his ascension, he becomes a holy, perfect being of such beauty and radiance that all who contact him realize that he is superior in every way to all other beings. He is no longer subject to any of the limitations of the outer world, for he has the full use of the power of precipitation, can take his body anywhere he desires instantly, transcends time and space, and is such an outpouring of light, love, and peace that all who contact him know instantly that he is a God being manifesting marvelous perfection in every way. At the moment of ascension, the light from the individual's own electronic body releases through the physical flesh body so powerfully that the vibratory action of the physical is increased to a rate in which no imperfection can register. Then the discords and imperfections simply melt into the perfection of the light, which is the pure substance from the individual's own mighty I Am presence. Where the physical body has red blood in the veins, at the moment of ascension, it becomes a liquid golden light pouring its radiance through the flesh until the rays of golden light fill the aura. The light within the heart then begins to expand and intensify until it fills the whole body and out to some distance around the body. The gravity pull of Earth can no longer affect it. The body rises into the atmosphere and follows the thought, going instantly wherever the individual desires. As an airplane propeller, when its speed is increased, generates enough power to overcome the gravity pull of Earth, so does the increase of light in the flesh body generate the same kind of power to lift the body into the atmosphere. The light in the body is that power, and over it nothing on Earth has control. It is a law so natural, so normal, so majestic, so joyous, so self-evident, and so satisfactory, that when the law of its accomplishment is explained to mankind, there is nothing to longer resist the mighty truth and law of life which it is. It is as simple and true as the radio, the electric light, or a bird's flight, and when the individual calls his mighty I Am presence into action, to take complete and eternal control of all the energy and consciousness of his personality, which means his mind and body. He too will release into and through his body the light needed to increase their vibratory action, to the point where the body can rise into the air and become invisible or visible, as the ascended masters are able to do. The individual then becomes the wholly ascended being of light and love, who is the glorious Son of God, wielding power without limit and manifesting forever the fulfillment, authority, and victory of love, the only true power in the universe. The ascension into the ascended master's octave of life is the manifestation of perfection and the preordained divine plan for every individual. It is the goal of all physical embodiment and is the only thing of any real importance in the life of all mankind. Therefore, O beloved of the light, take the scepter of your own dominion now and accomplish the final victory with the assistance of those great blessed ascended masters, who ever stand ready to give whatever help is required when the student places his own mighty I Am presence before every outer experience in life and is determined to have his freedom forever. The violet is consuming flame. Conscious use of the violet consuming flame is the only means by which any human being can free himself from his own human discord and imperfection. Aside from the ascended master's explanation of what and where the mighty I Am presence is, the greatest possible assistance and blessing to mankind on this earth is the ascended master's instruction concerning the use of the violet consuming flame. Through its use, they have dissolved all discordant creation of their past lives and become the ascended beings of perfection which they are today. Every human being must do the same thing sometime, somewhere, before he is free from his own human creation, past and present. The student should understand that the actual focusing, projecting, and sustaining of the violet-consuming flame is done by his own mighty I Am presence, for it is God's flame of pure divine love. But the part the student must do is to call his presence into dynamic action, to produce it and then visualize the flame. This means to hold the mental picture of it passing through his mind, body, and aura, from his feet up, through and around the body, cleansing them of all imperfection. Thus, he can dissolve and purify all unnecessary, discordantly qualified substance and energy, which he has used in all lives. This lets the pure energy, light, and perfection from his mighty I Am presence pour out its fullness to and through him without interference. Individuals have not the slightest concept of what they have created through their thought, feeling, and spoken words, even in their present lives, let alone all the hundreds and possibly thousands of embodiments they have lived through previously. Nevertheless, all the substance and energy which they have used was given to them pure and perfect in the beginning for the purpose of creating and expanding perfection on this earth. Through discordant thought, feeling, and spoken word, humanity has created forms made of substance, energized by feeling and projected into the atmosphere about them. Most of these are too hideous and unpleasant to put the description into words. There is no human being who has not done this to some extent in all lives past and present. All have felt discord and sent it forth in thought. Feeling and spoken word, most people a great deal more than they are willing to admit. Nevertheless, the law is the law. A very human being uses energy and substance waking and sleeping. Are creating vibration and form through the individual's consciousness every instant. The law acts whether the individual be ignorant or wise, and no one ever escapes. It is through the great, infinite, divine love and compassion of the ascended masters that the great mercy of the mighty I Am Presence acts. The instruction in the use of the violet consuming flame is the most merciful service any being could render to humanity. Through the individual's own God-conscious effort in using this flame of divine love, he is able to consume all his past creations and purify his mind, body, and world. In this way, he never has to face his distorted creation if he will use the violet consuming flame with intense, steady determination. Thus, he can reach up into the Ascended Master's octave of life and begin to draw forth more and more of their perfection, until he manifests the completeness of their mastery, the attainment of his ascension. This is the G-race which Jesus taught and the only way, in heaven or earth, by which any individual attains the state of the Ascended Master and becomes free from all the limitations and inharmony of earth. The great eternal law is that every individual must purify his own creations by his own conscious application and use of the violet consuming flame. It is not possible for anyone else to do it for him. Since he created his imperfections and limitations, so must he uncreate and purify them, until all in his being and world manifests perfection. Then he is free. The effect in the mind, body, being, and world of the individual who uses the violet consuming flame is to purify all the substance and energy in all his bodies, mental, emotional, and physical. It quiets the whirls of vibratory action in the emotional body, dissolves the impurities in the flesh, and consumes the wrong thought patterns in the mental body. In this way, he establishes habits of constructive thinking, feeling, and speaking. The violet consuming flame increases the vibratory action of both the mind and body. So the currents of light and energy from the presence flow through in perfect balance, bringing ease in the feelings, which is absolutely imperative if health is to manifest and be maintained in the body. The violet consuming flame is a raising, transforming, purifying, vivifying activity of pure divine love from the heart of God, the great central sun, which is the mighty I Am Presence of infinity. As heat melts wax until it drops away by its own weight, and as the heat increases, the wax ignites, being consumed by the fire. So does the violet consuming flame melt away the impure substance in the physical, emotional, and mental bodies of the individual, who visualizes it pouring through him and his aura for a distance of about 3 feet in every direction. The action that really takes place in the use of the violet consuming flame is that it increases the vibratory action of the substance in the 3 bodies to a rate in which no discord nor imperfection can exist, for these conditions can only exist in the lower rates of vibration. In the use of the violet consuming flame, which is the cleansing, harmonizing, uplifting, and illuminizing activity of the sacred fire. The divine love of the mighty I Am Presence, the student has the Ascended Master's power to set everything in his being and world into divine order, harmoniously and permanently. It but requires firm, alert attention and an unyielding determination to have the same great freedom which Jesus revealed to mankind, and which he and all other Ascended Masters are expressing and living in today. All students in doing this should realize that the violet consuming flame is the actual energy and substance of divine love from out the great central sun, which each one's own mighty I Am presence draws into a concentrated focus. As a flame and blazes through the bodies and aura of the personality to set everything into divine order, so the perfection of the presence can express through the mind and body and out into the world of the individual. It is utterly impossible for God's love, energy, and substance from the great central sun to have any effect whatsoever in anyone's mind, body, or affairs, except to produce ease, peace, harmony, abundance, illumination, and perfection. It is eternally impossible for it to create anything unlike itself. So the student should see how self-evident it is for any result to come from its use but joy, victory, freedom, and perfection. Any other prepotation or suggestion concerning it or its use is but human vicious ignorance and fear, and is not the truth. It is childish, ignorant, and foolish for anyone to have any other concept about it except the glory and beauty of its perfection. Anyone who says anything to the contrary about it shows that the individual has not the slightest understanding about what the ascended masters mean. They have explained WHAT, the violet consuming flame is, and asked the students and mankind to use it, that all may have the same marvelous freedom, blessings, and perfection which the ascended masters continually manifest. The student should think clearly enough to realize that the personality cannot create a flame, and as the personality is the only creator of destructive qualities. All ignorant suggestion of fear and discord concerning the violet consuming flame is but the concoction of the human intellect. THAT is self-evident. The violet consuming flame can only be focused, projected, and brought into activity by the mighty I Am presence. Only the presence is Lord of the flame. This is the flame of divine love, the very energy, substance, and intelligence from the one great eternal source of all, the great central sun. Dear blessed students, annihilate forever and inhalate in your own consciousness any fear of its use. If individuals fear to use the flame of divine love from God's own heart, what hope is there for them, and who can ever help them? Not Jesus, Saint Germain, nor anyone else can ever help the individual if their gifu of victory, freedom, and perfection are feared by the ignorant human intellect. Remember that fear and doubt are the two robbers of humanity's happiness. Use the violet consuming flame, precious ones of the light, and annihilate once and for all eternity everything in human consciousness that attempts to limit or dominate you longer by the suggestion of fear or doubt. Freedom from every human limitation is yours if you will dare to do as the Ascended Masters have explained. Freedom from musty old human concepts is yours by the use of the violet consuming flame. Freedom from the karmic accumulation of centuries and old race beliefs of the ages is yours. If you will but apply the Ascended Master's instruction and use the violet consuming flame to clear away all that disturbs or limits you. Defy every ignorant, disturbing, negative suggestion that confronts you. Blast it from the consciousness of mankind forever. That you may prove through your own individual experience that the light and love of your own mighty I Am presence is the supreme controller of all conditions in your beings and worlds. Yield not one atom of power to any human suggestion of less than perfection. D are to be the FULN-ness of your mighty I Am presence in dynamic action, producing perfection in your beings and worlds. Shut you are door to all that denies the truth and possibility of its fulfillment in all your physical experiences. Perfection is possible for every human being on this earth, and when the individual is determined enough to keep his attention on his mighty I Am presence, perfection will manifest in all his life's experiences. The violet consuming flame is what Jesus referred to when he said, "Moses brought law, but I bring grace." Grace means the bringing of all into divine order. Through divine love, and this is done by the use of the violet consuming flame, the only way in heaven or earth it ever was or ever will be done, because that is the way the great divine law maintains order permanently. This is the knowledge of the sacred fire, which has been coexistent with mankind on this earth from the beginning. It is the purifying activity that the mighty I Am presence provides, by which the outer activity of the human personality may again be made to express the divine way of life. Use the violet consuming flame around your mind, body, home, office, and world, in all your affairs, and your blessings will transcend your fondest dreams. Oh, that the blessed doctors and nurses who handle the discordant conditions of mind and body of afflicted human beings, but knew and would experiment with the violet consuming flame, and through it bring marvelous protection to themselves and limitless help to their patients. They could then move in those conditions, give assistance without limit, and yet be entirely untouched by the reactions from the conditions they are trying to cure, and yet many times go down under themselves. Oh, that the blessed school teachers might understand what transcendent accomplishment could come to those children under their care by the use of the violet consuming flame. They could teach almost indefinitely and yet feel no death. Sense of exhaustion. They could harmonize a room full of children with an irresistible power that would make all a joy and privilege to work together for the good of all. Oh, that businessmen might understand how, by the use of the violet consuming flame, dishonesty, intrigue, crime, and discord of every kind can be prevented in all outer activities of humanity, and the real, true, marvelous ascended master accomplishment mankind was meant to express be experienced by every individual now. Blessed ones of the light! Visualize the violet consuming flame in and about your mind, body, home, business, country, and WORLD many, many times a day, until you become as conscious of its existence in and around all you contact as you are of your hands and feet. See all you are, MIGHTY, I Am presence into action to release the ascended master focus and outpouring of the violet consuming flame in and through all you do. To keep its action self-sustained in such a mighty onrush of perfection that naught can withstand its irresistible presence and power. Feel yourselves always surrounded by a great pillar of violet consuming flame. The shade of the violet neon signs, with the flame flowing from the feet upward through the body to the top of the head and up into your own mighty I Am presence. Ooh this with great intensity at least 15 minutes 3 times a day. In a few weeks or months, you will feel such freedom and ease in your bodies, such clearness in your minds, and such victory in your affairs that you will no longer wish to do anything but continue its use. If you wish an intensified action of divine compassion and peace, make the center of your great pillar of violet flame a delicate shade of pink. Realize deeply in your feelings that your power to visualize is the presence power of sight, which is used to make the picture, and call the presence into action to keep it forever self-sustained. It is the presence who projects the flame, and the presence always answers every call, instantly. This is all any student needs to be able to feel the fullness of his presence and see it face to face. Say often and feel deeply. I am always a gigantic pillar of the violet consuming flame of pure divine love that transcends all human concepts and pours out through me forever all the ascended master victory and perfection from within its heart. Affirmations. Mighty I Am Presence. Take complete command of my mind, body, and world, and see that all problems vanish forever. Mighty I Am Presence. See that I always speak only the words of truth, the decrees of love, the commands of perfection, and experience only the miracles and victories of the ascended masters, instantly and eternally manifest. MOTHERS up. He motherhood, expression of life, is that activity of divine love which gives of itself in the service of expansion. If the love of the mothers of the world were withdrawn, humanity's discord would destroy mankind and the earth itself. However, when we speak of mother love, we do not mean selfish possession, for that is not love. The real desire, which is God desire, within the heart of all mothers is that they want their children to express perfection. That thought creates a pattern and becomes a magnet to bring about the fulfillment if divine love is always the feeling that is held by the mother. The mothers of the world can release the limitless power of the I Am to hold the focus and perfection of the ascended master as the pattern to be fulfilled by the child or children who come into embodiment through them. By taking the command, Mighty I Am Presence. Hold your focus of ascended master perfection in and around this precious child, and make him always the Master Christ grown to full stature, who forever speaks and commands with authority, and holding it steady with deep determination, the mother can positively release love, light, and power, which will mold the child into that perfect presence of the I Am, and thus express full mastery and freedom. If all the mothers of America and the world would do this, a race of such godlike beings would be born as would astonish the world, and thus give a service beyond all words to describe. We call the mighty I Am Presence into action. With the infinite power of the ascended masters to bless every mother on earth with such boundless light, love, and perfection, that they flood the world with its radiance and draw every individual into the full perfection of his own mighty I Am Presence through divine love. MOTHER. By Godfrey Ray King. How precious the name of Mother! Chancel for souls of men who come life's paths to conquer and rise above earth's sin. The love that comes from Mother flows forth in joy to all. She stands by those she worships, no matter how great the fall. How wondrous thy gift, O Mother! The temple not made with hands, the chalice of cosmic essence, the law of earth demands. With love and light transcendent poured out to souls on earth, can all gain God's great wisdom attained through each new birth. Majestic, thy name, O Mother! The soul's great strength in flight, Thou hast caught light's ray descending, flashed down from heaven's far height. Each one must gain full mastery, must conquer all human strife, and rise at last victorious, the presence and Lord of life. Thou, Mother, art Queen of Heaven. Sweet parent of love so pure, thy patience and great endurance is strength and anchor sure, God's arm o'er and great protection for those you hold most dear, to guide in paths of glory, above earth's care, earth's fear. Great blessings are thine, O Mother. Thy heart is purest gold. We hold thy name in reverence. In thy love we must unfold, all rising higher and higher. Our goal we must attain, and enter the gates of freedom, in cosmic light to reign. Sweet, precious, beloved Mother, of daughters and sons of men, thou rarest of jewels, we love thee, crown jewel of God's diadem. You lift this world with your glory, so angelic your smile, so sweet. We feel in your blessed presence as though kneeling at Jesus' feet. Students should consider every study group meeting as a sacred preparation to draw them nearer to their ascension, for all outpouring from the ascended Masters and angelic host is for accomplishment of that victory, that all humanity may be eternally free. There is no eternal freedom nor peace for mankind until the ascension is completed, because that is the whole purpose of human embodiment. It is the outpouring from the ascended masters which enables mankind to attain this victory, for their light and love is a magnet that draws every human being into the ascended master's octave of life's activity. As the rays of light from the physical sun draw forth the dynamic action of plant life from within the seed, upward into full bloom and perfection, so do the rays of light from the mighty I Am presence and ascended masters draw the life activity of the individual into the mastery and freedom which is the ascended master's octave of life. Thus, the full power and perfection of the mighty I Am presence expresses itself through the individual and expands its perfection infinitely. In conducting study groups, both the leaders and students should realize that the Ascended Master Consciousness is the directive presence, power and activity, controlling all by the only real authority in the universe, divine love. All should realize that there is a vast difference between being directive and dictatorial. When one is directive, his every thought, feeling, word, and act is charged and clothed with the feeling of divine love. Then only peace, and perfection can possibly be experienced by everyone concerned. When the personality becomes dictatorial, it is only the hum and intellect acting, and because the thoughts, feelings, and words are not charged and clothed with the feeling of divine love, the result is resistance and discord from other personalities. Everyone, sometime, somewhere, on the path to his ascension, must meet and conquer this most unhappy of human experiences, and the sooner he does it, the sooner he has peace. The sooner he maintains all his activities in peace, the more of God, the mighty I Am presence, he has in action, and hence the quicker he attains his victory over his human self and makes his ascension. All perfection can be experienced by every individual in every study group. If the students and leaders will watch the above activity in themselves and ask the mighty I Am presence to control it in everyone else, but keep the human attention from watching other personalities. In every activity of life, the individual should realize that he must stop trying to reform other personalities and trying to compel them to do his personal will. If in every activity of life, the student will simply call the I Am presence into action to produce perfection, and then keep his own feeling calm, loving, and at ease, the results will be infinitely more marvelous and perfect than his human consciousness could ever dream or imagine. So we ask all I Am students to govern their feelings completely and charge all the energy they send out with the Ascended Master's divine love and direct it by the Ascended Master's wisdom and intelligence. Then heaven on earth can and will manifest for all and be sustained. Remember, no good thing is ever done permanently except it be done with the feeling of divine love. FAFIRMATONs. To all wrong conditions, say, Mighty I Am Presence. Release your infinite ascended master power into this person and condition. Remove it forever by your divine love. See that it never touches my being or world again, and set that beloved one forever free. Mighty I Am Presence. Fulfill your divine plan here instantly and keep it permanent. Mighty I Am Presence. Make your flame of divine love in my heart alive and dynamically active as the all-controlling presence and power in my being and world forever. Loyalty to your own mighty I Am presence is your first obligation to life. From it, you are receiving your very existence, your life, your body, your energy, all that is good and only good. To it, you owe all, and nothing should ever be of any consideration but that glorious, adorable presence. If you are loyal to your God Self, the mighty I Am presence, you must of necessity always do the perfect thing to everybody and everything else in the universe. Then, extend your loyalty to America, where you have chosen to expand your light this lifetime for her protection, blessing, and perfection. Blessed young people of America! Try to arouse the feeling of loyalty to the mighty I Am presence in mankind everywhere you go. Try to harmonize the feelings of the people you contact on your pathway in life. See all always to your own mighty I Am presence first and then. If you need more instantaneous action than you seem able to draw, call directly to St. German, Jesus, Nada, or the Divine Director to assist you in attaining your victory more quickly. Without loyalty in the character of an individual, there is no basis for truth to anchor its blessings in that one's life and experience. So try to arouse everyone's loyalty to God, the mighty I Am presence, the source of everyone's very existence and the universe itself. Then try to make all feel deeply and realize the power individuals have to open the door of the treasure chest of the universe, to flood mankind and the earth with its limitless blessings and perfection through their conscious acknowledgement and acceptance of the mighty I Am presence and the Ascended Masters. Make them feel their ability to call its mighty directing intelligence into action in every activity to produce protection, freedom, abundance, and perfection for all. Make all realize that they can only manifest what they desire of good in their own experience when they ask it for all mankind, because the individual can only become free himself as he gives freedom to all humanity. We become free only through what we give, not by what we get. The divine gives, the human receives. If the hum is to experience the fullness of perfection, it must become divine by giving light, love, peace, freedom, blessing, and the perfection of the mighty I Am presence to all without any reservation whatsoever. Affirmation. Mighty I Am Presence. Charge all the energy coming into my mind and body with your mighty healing power forever. Future appearances of the messengers. OPORTL. Masonic Temple, West Park and Main Streets, Friday, May 15th to Sunday, May 24th, inclusive. Afternoons at 2 p.m. and evenings at 8 p.m. Seattle, Washington. Music H All Theater, 7th and Olive Way, Friday, May 29th to Sunday, June 7th, inclusive. Afternoons at 2 p.m. and evenings at 8 p.m. Los Angeles, California. Shrine Auditorium, 665 West Jefferson Street, Saturday, June 27th to Sunday, July 5th, inclusive. Afternoons at 1:30 p.m. and evenings at 7 p.m. St. Germain has given permission for another large class to be given at the Shrine Auditorium on the above dates. We ask all the students to call the mighty I Am Presence into action, to bless it with such an outpouring of light, love, and blessings to the students and the people of Los Angeles, America, and the world as has never been experienced before upon earth. We are calling with all the love, power, and intensity of our beings to the mighty I Am Presence, the ascended masters and legion of light, to flood forth such miracles of protection, illumination, abundance, freedom, victory, and perfection that the most transcendent accomplishment possible will take place. We ask all to join us in doing this, that the greatest release of light and blessings may flow forth to bless all, and the ascended Master's love flood the earth forever. St. Germain Foundation Reading Rooms. Los Angeles, California, 7th and Olive Streets. TRJ NUMRRI CJ Building, Room 926. Phone Van Divick 8426. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 025 Spruce Street. At the Home of the I Am in Philadelphia, the door will always be open with love to the student and their friend. San Diego, California, 6th and Broadway, Bank of America Building, Room JH. Los Angeles, California, 2J2 South, Whatmoreland Ave. Phone V. Andyke 8426. Home of the Voice of the I Am, 2600 South Hoover Street, Los Angeles, California. Site